Hey mamas, and welcome back to the Modern Moms Club. I am so excited. Today I have a very special guest with me, Autumn Calabrese. She's celebrity trainer, creator of 21 Day Fix and Fixate, latest fitness program, 80 Day Obsession, nutrition expert, and of course, super mom. So we had to do an interview today with Autumn. So Autumn, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited.
So I have lots of questions for you. I got so much feedback when I announced I was doing an interview with you. So,
All right.
I can't wait to dive in. So to get started, let's tell the moms about how you got started with your career in health and fitness.
Oh my gosh, that's a long story in and of itself. So let me see if I can sum it up very
Yeah.
shortly. I grew up as a dancer. So I was a competitive dancer all through grade school, high school, went on to major in dance in college. And I think that's where I really started to just learn about my body, about fueling my body. I was surrounded by girls, obviously, some of them who were doing amazing and some of them who were really struggling in terms of eating disorders and that sort of thing. And I felt very blessed to have teachers in my life that did not guide us down that path, that really tried to just teach us more about nutrition and fueling our bodies. So it wasn't a super firm grasp at that point, but it was a more positive, motivating direction that I was getting steered along the way. And obviously, like I said, being a competitive dancer and a dance major, you're learning about kinesiology, you're learning about how the body works, and then you start to learn about how to fuel it. So that's really where it started. And then once I moved to California, because Midwest girl, born and raised in Ohio, went to school in Missouri, came to California. That's when I was out here, I was dancing, I was waiting tables, I was doing the typical thing, but I knew I loved fitness and I knew I wanted to move in a different direction than just pursuing dancing and acting that I was. And that's when I got my first certification. I went through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. And that's where really it all started. I mean, like I said, there's a very long journey after that, but that's kind of how it all started. It was, I got my first certification and I started doing in-home personal training, and I've never stopped learning from there. Like once I started, every year I'm always in some sort of class learning something about fitness or nutrition.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely always learning is the key because everything's, it changes so much. So to be able to just keep, your skills sharp and just be able to know, again, everything's changing. So it's nice to be able to learn the trends and especially know like what's trending and what's literally a trend and what's just like, there's so much other garbage out there to really know the facts.
So. Exactly. What really works and what's science and what's actually just a trend.
Yeah. Definitely. Yes. So as a busy working mom and entrepreneur, how do you balance mom life and work life?
I talk about this actually in my Facebook Watch show. In fact, the name of my Facebook Watch show is Life, Happiness, and the Pursuit of Balance.
I love it.
The very first thing I say in the very first episode is I actually don't believe in balance in terms of work/personal life. I think that there are some times where the scale is tipped towards work. And I think there are some times where the scale is tipped towards personal mom and all that stuff. But very rarely, if ever, do I actually think everything falls right into balance. So it's just one of those things that I have to keep in check on a very regular basis. So I put myself in check kind of daily, weekly, and sort of monthly and quarterly about like, okay, it's time to turn the computer off. It's time to turn the phone off. It's time to focus on Dom. When he's at school, that's really my time to go hard on all my work stuff. When he comes home, if I'm wrapping anything up, I try to wrap it up very quickly. Otherwise, I try to put it aside until after he goes to bed. And then, he is at an age now where he understands it a little bit more. He's almost 10. So I could say like, mommy has this project. I have to get it done. And he can understand that. It was a little harder when he was a child, when he was a younger baby. But like I said, there really isn't this like perfect balance. It's when I'm in the middle of working on a project, that is going to require a little bit more of my attention. It just is how it is. And once that project hopefully launches and is got its own legs, then it turns my focus back to a little bit more of my personal life. And that's really, it's really, I think the best that any of us can do. I think if anybody says that everything is perfectly in balance all the time.
Right. Yeah.
I want to
It-
meet them and I want to ask
exactly.
them what they're doing because I don't know how to do
Right. Exactly. I know I get that question so much. Like, for all the moms that are doing the work and the life balancing, it's like what, again, the word balance, it's just, I think of a girl on the circus, like on the trapeze, it's like, it's just, some things require more attention at other times than other
Right.
things do. So I love that
Yes.
answer. So I had a mom write in this question. What tips do you have for moms who are trying to get back in shape after a baby, or maybe it's been a while since they've worked out and they want to start prioritizing this again?
So the first thing I tell moms that did just have a baby is you have to remember it took 9 months to gain that weight. You didn't put it on overnight. So you're not going to lose it overnight. And I know I made this exact same mistake when I got home from the hospital with Dominic 9 years ago. Like I went to put on a pair of jeans that I
Yeah.
had they were like my loose jeans. They were my like super comfortable, very relaxed jeans. And I went to put them on and they didn't go up over my thighs. And I like sat on the bed and cried. And my
Yeah.
husband like looked at me and he was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "I'm fat." Because all of a sudden the baby's out
I think
and
we've all had that moment or moments.
yeah, and you feel squishy. You're no longer like, oh, there's a baby. You just feel
Yeah.
that. And so you have to give yourself a little bit of grace and the fact that you just grew a human being inside of your
Yeah.
body and that you're still nourishing that human being if you're breastfeeding and your whole world just turned upside down. You're going to be tired. You've got all these hormones in your body. So that is my first tip, is that you just have to give yourself a little bit of grace.
I
That
love that.
being said, you also can't give yourself too much slack, because studies have shown that the longer you keep the weight on, the harder it is to get off.
Mhm.
So I usually say you've got about 6 to 9 months to get off what you put on. That's how long it took you to put on. Give yourself about
Mhm.
6 to 9 months to get it off. And you just start slowly. You got to ease back in. Your body's been through a whole lot. So it could be as simple as going for walks. One of the best ways I
Yeah.
lost the majority of my weight from Dom was I'd put him in the stroller twice a day. And I did this like big 3-mile loop walk
Oh, that's
around
awesome.
my
'Cause
neighborhood.
then your baby's with you.
He would sleep. We were getting fresh air. I'd bring my cell phone with me, right? I'd call my sister, I'd call my
Yeah.
dad, I'd call my best friend. So I would talk so I didn't feel all secluded.
Right.
And I was getting exercise. I mean, I wasn't running. I wasn't power walking. We were just out for a walk bonding together.
That's
You can do
awesome.
little things like get on the floor and play with them. And then, and you pay attention to your nutrition. Remember that what
Mhm.
you're putting in your body, you're also feeding your baby if you're breastfeeding. So
Exactly.
don't sit down and eat a pint of ice cream unless you want to feed your newborn a pint of ice cream too. So just all these little things, like it's small things
Mhm.
over time that add up to big results.
Definitely. And then in actually kind of tying into that question, I had another one from a mom that it was asking, what are some safe workouts for pregnant moms? Because there's obviously things that you can't do. There's certain, ab workouts that you can't do. So what would be some safe workouts that you can recommend for moms that are pregnant?
Sure. Well, first of all, it depends on what you've been doing before you got pregnant. Here's the thing. Everybody's a little bit different. If you were a runner before you got pregnant, chances are you can continue to run even while you're pregnant. If you played tennis, great. You can probably still keep playing. Obviously,
Mhm.
a little bit of lateral movement. You're going to be careful. You always want to get cleared by your doctor first. But I've had tons of women do 21-day fix while they were pregnant. They were doing it before. They made sure they got clearance from their doctor. And I always say, come the second trimester, come week 17, you do need to modify. You shouldn't be on your back anymore.
Right.
So it could be as simple as if you were doing a chest press laying on your back, maybe you have a bench that inclines now and you put it in an incline, or you have a stability ball and you lay
Mhm.
on the stability ball. So you're no longer
Yeah, I got
flat
mine right
on
there
your
back
back.
there.
I see it. So there's on Beachbody On Demand, I have prenatal
Mhm.
workouts on there. There's yoga on there that you can do, but the biggest thing I want to tell moms is that, or moms to be, is when you're pregnant, you're not disabled.
Mhm.
And for a long time, like especially in like the 70s and 80s, there very
Yeah.
much was this mentality of like, oh, you're fragile, don't do anything. And that's
Right.
not necessarily the case unless you have a high risk pregnancy for some reason. But other than that, like our bodies are meant to do this, and our bodies are also meant to be active. If I can just sort of be a little cliche, and if you go back to caveman time.
Yeah.
Nobody was telling them not to run from the lion
Right,
if they were
right.
pregnant, you know, like they were going to run, and nobody was telling them don't build a hut for shelter.
Exactly.
So know that like our bodies are meant to do this, but you have to take it at whatever pace you were sort of at before you got pregnant. And like I said, checking with your doctor is always important. There's a lot of things you can do.
Nice, nice. That's great. Yeah, because I think that's definitely, I think for some moms that are active before they're pregnant, it's a little bit easier because they understand what their bodies can do. If it's someone that's wanting to get into it now that they're pregnant, they just have to be a little bit more careful because, they haven't done that before. So that was the one thing that my doctor recommended to me. He said, continue to work out, stay active, but just don't, if you haven't done cycling before, like don't all of a sudden pick up cycling while you're pregnant.
Yes, it's not the time to start something crazy, hard, and new. And you stay hydrated. You wear loose clothing. You don't overheat. You pay attention to if you're going down on the floor and then standing up, because you don't have all the blood volume in your body that you need in the first trimester. Your body's trying to catch up. So you can get lightheaded a little bit easier. You pay attention to your body and you listen to your body, but you can go for walks. And like I said, you can do yoga and you can do the prenatal workouts on Beachbody On Demand. And you can do something like 21 Day Fix. You can follow the modifier.
Exactly.
So it all depends on where you're at, and you just listen to your body.
Yep. I think that was the biggest thing for me. There were some days when I was like, all right, I'll do a dance workout, if I'm not feeling as strong. And there's other days that I'm like, okay, I can do the full workout,
Yes.
So like lifting weights or whatnot.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Cool. So this is a two-part question. So what accomplishments are you most proud of? And what is something that maybe an obstacle that you've come up against that you were faced with that you overcame?
Oh my goodness. My biggest accomplishment, there's so many in so many different realms. Like it's hard to narrow it down to one. I mean, in my personal life, it's obviously just my son and having a healthy, happy boy. But in my professional life, 21 Day Fix holds a very special place in my heart because it was my launch program with Beachbody. It obviously did and has continued to do amazing things. It continues to be their number one selling program to this day. So that is a massive accomplishment. I've had so many people come up to me over the years or message me and say it literally changed their life. So I do think that in and of itself is its own like biggest, best accomplishment. 80 Day Obsession was something in and of itself. I was the first trainer ever in history to film for 80 days straight, to film a program in real time, to put out a program in the style that we did it, to do live workouts. So that, and getting to sort of be the person paving the way.
Sure.
That's pretty incredible in and of itself. Like I never really thought that there would be I'm going to be the first in fitness to do da da da.
Right.
So that is pretty huge. In terms of obstacles, there are a million of them every single day. And everything from the fact that when I was, I think 5 or 6 years old, I think it was 5, I woke up one morning and couldn't walk. Like basically I shouldn't be in the career path I'm in because I was in the hospital for a week. They didn't know what was wrong with me. They didn't know if I would ever walk again. I just got better. To this day, they don't know what was wrong with me.
Wow.
But I mean, you look at that obstacle and the fact that my parents for years kind of were always like, should we let her do this? Should we let her do that? Because, I was still an active kid, but it was like, I started dance late. I wasn't allowed to do gymnastics because they didn't know what was wrong. So they didn't know what could set it off again. So things like that. The fact that I started dance late made it very hard for me to get into college as a dance major because I didn't have the same technical background that all these other girls that I was auditioning up against did. I had a million doors slammed in my face before I got picked up by Beachbody. And I say this a lot. I always tell people that those obstacles, those are not, I don't look at them as failures. I don't use that word. I look at them as redirects. And I try to really encourage people constantly to change their mindset. And look, I'm a work in progress. I've been talking about it the last 2 days on my social media that my anxiety has been out of control. And I got up this morning and I was like, the only way to get this under control is to flip your mindset, Autumn. You know better.
Definitely.
Just flip the switch. So in those obstacles, they can stop you from achieving your goal if you look at them as a failure. Like, oh, this didn't work out, so I quit because I failed. Or you can say, that didn't work out because that wasn't my path. I thought it was, but it wasn't. So it's a redirect. I'm being sent in a different direction to something that's better for me.
It's
and
so
I
powerful.
don't know what it is, but you'll get there. And so all of those things that were all of those obstacles, and look, I still face them every single day. I'm a woman in business. We all know that women in business get looked at in a different way than a man in business. And if you're tough, and I admittedly am, I have high expectations of people when it comes to business, you're looked at as the B word and you're difficult and da-da-da. And so I have to balance that and overcome a lot of it of like, making sure that like my ideas are heard, my voice is heard in a professional way, but making sure that like my product and what I'm working on, whatever it be with Beachbody or the restaurant or stuff, that it doesn't lose what I want it to have on it.
Definitely.
Because somebody looks at me as like, oh, you're a woman, so what do you know?
Right. 100%. No, but it is very powerful because, you know, I think exactly what you said, you know, you have to be able to stand your ground for what you believe in. So 100%, I agree with you on that. So, now we're going to shift gears a little bit,
okay,
a little bit more into food, and kind of mommy land for nothing smaller kids right now. So actually, and even your son, you said he's 10. So he's in school lunches, school's back, you know, in session now. So I got a lot of questions about what are some great, easy, and healthy recipes that moms can make for their kids, school lunches or dinners, because there are sports going on, you know, during dinner time. It's like got to be something that can be quick and easy and out the door. So what are some tips that you have to make that easier, especially during busy school weeks?
So I actually have my ebook. It's only available on Amazon right now. It's called 75 Healthy Lunch Ideas for Kids.
Perfect.
And it is literally can be used for kids from preschool all the way up through high school, because you can just adjust the size of the lunch to whatever works for them. And I cover everything from different types of sandwiches to soups to things that would maybe be like a dinner the night before turned into a lunch for them. And like, again, I do have a child, so I'm not like, these are not lunches that would not be appealing to a kid. These are things you can do with eggs, things that like making breakfast for lunch and packing it for them.
Awesome.
My favorite brands are all listed in there because not all food is created equal, obviously. So like, it's not just any brand of peanut butter that I recommend. It's the organic, the natural, chemical laden things. So, so first of all, you can get that on Amazon, like I said.
Awesome.
Yes. And like, there's being creative, right? And sitting down and talking to your kids about like, what do they like? Or bringing them to the grocery store and having them grocery shop with you and showing them what snacks they're allowed to have. And I think it's perfectly okay to say like, we're not buying this, and this is why. Right. I'm very honest with Dominic about why he can't have certain food. I'm like, that is sugar and that is food dye. Dom, that is poison in your body. Like,
and he understands that. Yeah.
And
you're explaining it to him too.
Yeah. I'm like, we don't want that, but here's a healthier version of it. Do you want this instead? Because mommy doesn't mind if you have this.
Yep.
And then he'll pick what he wants. And so he's learning slowly but surely. And that doesn't mean he doesn't still ask me for the stuff. Right. But we'll talk about it like, oh, do you want a sandwich for lunch tomorrow? Or do you want the leftover, nachos that I made? Because sometimes I'll make, taco meat and we'll just put them on some healthy tortilla chips and a little bit of cheese. So it's just getting creative in it. I think that is the biggest thing, is getting creative and not buying like the same 5 things over and over and planning for it. We basically write out a list each week. Like now Dom and I will sit down and go through 75 healthy lunch ideas, and I'll be like, pick which 5 lunches you want this week. And then when I go to the grocery store, I buy everything for it.
Right. That's good because he's included in that. So he feels
and
like
he can't get mad about it. Like, that lunchbox shouldn't come home full because I'm like, you picked your lunch.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's a great tip for moms, get them involved. The more involved that they are, the more, like you said, there's no excuse as to why they don't eat it if they pick it.
Right. Exactly. And, I get that the smaller ones, that's a little bit harder for, but they'll probably eat it because they don't have as much of an opinion yet, right? They're just hungry and mom put food in here and I'll eat it. So
exactly. But that's good for, as they get older, it's, and to give them the option, like if you, do you want A or B, and that A and B are both healthy options, but you're still giving them the power of choice.
Exactly.
So awesome. I love
Very
that.
powerful.
Okay, so in your opinion, what is the key to maintaining a healthy lifestyle? I know we talked about nutrition and exercise, but obviously it goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to get your opinion on that. What, someone that's maintaining a healthy lifestyle, like it's not just something that you can do once and like be healthy.
Well, that's it. It's consistency. That is honestly the best thing you can do to maintain a healthy lifestyle, is to just be consistent in it. That doesn't mean that you won't have days where you fall off a little bit, but you get right back on track. You go back to the healthy eating, you push play on the workout, and you do it consistently, because it's not money in the bank. It's not, oh, I worked out today, so I don't have to work out the rest of the week. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
You have to make that choice on a very regular basis. And really, that's what it comes down to. It just comes down to a choice. I choose to eat healthy food. I like it. I do. I really do enjoy healthy food. And I choose it because I know what it does for my body. I choose to exercise. That doesn't mean every single day I want to, but I know how it makes me feel ultimately. So I choose it. And you have to sort of build that muscle, that willpower muscle and that mindset muscle of like, I'm not being forced. This is my choice. This is what I want for myself. A lot of times people will say they want it and they start to do it. And as soon as they start to do it, all of a sudden they feel like they're being forced, maybe because they're watching a workout video and the person's telling them, this is what you're doing. And all of a sudden they're looking at it as like, I'm being told. And you're like, no, but you chose. You want to.
Exactly.
So remember that you chose and you want to.
Right. All right, awesome. So actually a question that kind of goes with that as well. So how does a stay-at-home mom who maybe isn't necessarily motivated right now in working out consistently get motivated to work out consistently? Like how does she start? Where does she start?
Yeah. Well, okay, this is where I'm going to plug the heck out of the company I work for that I love, which is Beachbody, because you guys, the beauty of something like Beachbody is the community that surrounds it. So yeah, you're a stay-at-home mom. It's super easy because one, you have access to all the workouts at home and they are designed to do at home. So you can push play. But the thing that goes hand in hand with that is the community, the coach that you either sign up through or the coach that you get assigned, the challenge groups that they hold, be it on Facebook or in a challenge tracker app or wherever. You all of a sudden have this new group of people to talk to that are going through all the same things that you are. Like, chances are, if you're a new mom and you want to do a Facebook workout or like a Beachbody workout program, you can find a group that is specifically geared towards new moms, so that you guys will all be in there talking about how,
the baby didn't sleep last
the
night.
baby didn't sleep and you're tired and, you push play on the workout, but you had to stop to breastfeed and da-da-da-da.
Right.
And you'll also be talking about what you're experiencing with the weight loss or maybe the lack of weight loss and all these things. So it becomes this community, and that becomes very powerful and very motivating, because you're interacting with other people. Like we are, that's what drives us. We're human beings. We are meant to interact with each other. We're not meant to be in a silo by ourselves. So.
Exactly. The whole social aspect of it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then also you have someone else holding you accountable, even on the days when you don't feel like holding yourself accountable.
Exactly. That's what it's for.
Nice.
Yes.
So I have a couple rapid fire questions for you that we can go through that I got. All right. So what are you most passionate about?
I am most passionate about, I think, being a mom. Number one, most passionate about being a mom.
Nice.
People would probably assume my career, but that little comes first.
I know it's a whole new, obviously I'm a new mom. My baby just turned a year old. And before you have your baby, it's like work life and your partner, your husband, whatever. And then this baby comes along and you're like, oh my God, I never knew I could love someone else so much. Like it's not, it's totally a different world. And that's where this podcast also came out of, because it's a love like no other, but it's also the most demanding, the most,
hardest job you'll ever have.
Yes. So that's kind of where this whole Modern Moms Club came from. It's a club of moms, who can get together and exactly what you said, talk about what we go through and share the struggles and the successes and the wins and all of that.
Yes, I love that.
So, all right, this question came in from Instagram. How many days a week do you work out, and do you take any rest days?
I work out 6 days a week typically. Yes, I always take at least one rest day. Every once in a while I take two, depending on how my body is feeling or what is going on in work life. But 6 days a week is what I aim for. I need it. It's like my mental
Yeah.
escape.
Yeah, totally. And do you have any upcoming projects, programs, retreats, anything that you want to share?
I say pay attention to social media over the next 2 weeks.
Okay. All right, guys. So actually, my next question is, where can our moms find you if they want to get more information from you?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. My handle is at Autumn Calabrese. Twitter, same thing. Facebook. My website is autumncalabrese.com. If you are in the SoCal area ever, Calabrese Cafe is opening up
Nice.
mid-October, so you can come by there. So lots of places.
Congratulations on that. That's amazing. A lot of fixate recipes in there.
Oh, yes. Yes. Hard at work.
Nice. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for jumping on with me today. I'm so glad all the moms are able to get some information from you and to connect with you. And any of the moms listening from the Modern Moms Club, go check Autumn out on Instagram, on her website, and follow her on social media in the next 2 weeks. I think there's some big announcements coming.
Yes, there are. Thank you so much for having me on. It was great talking to you, and best of luck to all the new modern moms out there.
Thanks, Autumn.
Bye.